the special meeting of the governing board to order. Our only order of business today is to consider director appointments. And we are pleased to announce that we have all of our board members in attendance, along with Tim Hurley and with Jim Sloan. And I believe our parliamentarian, Bonnie Ellis. Okay, so we definitely have a quorum. Harry and Ann and Tim are all on phone, and the rest of us are on Zoom. Currently, we have 2 vacancies on the governing board. Bob Canero, who resigned in June, had 1 year left on his term. And then Lou Mancuso's spot is open because of the recall. We are to keep a 9-member board, and now we're only down to 7. I'd like to just review our bylaws. Bylaw 4.17 states, any vacancy on the governing board may be filled by the affirmative vote of a majority of the remaining governing board directors. And that those appointees shall hold office through the next June 30th. And this is to clarify, it does not, appointees cannot complete somebody else's term. They can only be, if they're an appointee, they can only be on the board until the next June 30th. We also have a policy L9, which offers an interview process that may be used, but that requires posting. This is summertime. It's a little bit difficult to get this going in the summer. This requires resumes and conducting interviews. And the board is still the only one that then votes on the people from the interview process. So the community does not get involved in the process. Our association attorney has reviewed and confirmed these procedures. The order of precedence of documents that govern us states that bylaws supersede policies. So the policy of interview is a possibility if we cannot agree on some appointees. Since we now have 2 vacancies, it's in the best interest of the community to take action now to bring us back to a 9-member board. And this is also supported by the attorney that we are expected to fill those positions and not wait. We need to put this unfortunate recall experience behind us and move ahead. The community has spoken loud and clear for a return to civility and to professionalism on the board. The appointees I'm recommending have previously been chosen by a vote of the community in order to serve the years that they have served. They have served recently, and during their years of service, they have demonstrated a clear understanding of how to work within the customs and rules of our Sun City West board. That's sometimes a difficult task for new board members to understand. The rules do require that in order to be considered, the appointees have to have been off of the board for at least a year. And both of these appointees have that qualification met. I also would say that both appointees are very well respected in the community. Jim has served as a president for 2 years. Tim served for 4 to 5 years, I believe, as a director. And I guess we would have, in my opinion, a real difficult time topping those credentials within our existing board. And in my opinion, experience does really matter. So I've talked about the fact that these are only appointments that extend to June. At the time of our March elections, we would then be electing 4 directors. The top 3 vote getters would get full 3-year terms. And then the next highest vote getter would be fulfilling the remainder of Mr. Mancuso's term. Mr. Canero's term would normally be up at the end of this year. So at that time, interested owner members should consider running for election on the regular election schedule. This starts about November, excuse me, starts in November, where you can take out papers. So that's a pretty upcoming time and an early time to get moving with that. So at that time, we would be able to have the community vote for the candidates that they choose to elect, and that would really truly involve them. And we have an election chair. Marshall Adams has agreed to take on that task, and he can be connected. You can connect with him by way of Karen Repkin, our governing board executive administrative assistant. And also will be information that comes out in the rec news and excuse me, and all of the media areas that we have, which gives plenty of time for community involvement in terms of choosing the next core of directors. Okay, so it is my recommendation that we appoint Jim Sloan to serve until June 30th of 2022 as an appointee to the director vacancy created by the resignation of Bob Canero. So Jim, would you get online here and weigh in on something about you? Many of our residents and our owner members in the community may not be aware of your history, especially if they're new people.
Sure.
Talk to us.
Sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate your confidence in appointing me to this position. And briefly, I grew up in California, mostly Southern California. And my parents were Salvation Army officers, so we moved periodically around, but mostly Long Beach and San Diego is where I grew up. I went to college in Sacramento State University, where I have a degree in music, and I taught music for 10 years. And then following that, I became a Salvation Army officer running social services programs, primarily drug and alcohol programs for the Salvation Army for the remainder of my career. So I retired in 2013. So we moved here. I was elected to the governing board in 2017, and I was seated with both Brian Wallace and Tim Hurley in March of 2017. And then seated for my 3-year term in July. I was elected vice president in July of the 2017, and then president on the next year and the next year. I was fortunate enough to oversee a couple of major events in our world. Mike Whiting retired. We hired the current general manager, Bill Schwinn. The board did that, but that was when I was president. And then secondly, I think the other one that I'm very proud of is we brought CC&Rs into the rec center from Pora. That was a good one. And also, of course, we oversaw the Kuntz remodel. So I've been involved. I'm a consensus person. I believe in making things work for everybody as much as we possibly can and finding logic and moving forward. I appreciate the work that's happened on the board. And I'm glad we're past the chaos right now, and I hope to have it all settled down. But I am not interested in running for president again, so I'm interested in filling out the term and doing as much as I can to help the community.
Okay, thank you. Are there any objections to, or is there any discussion about the possibility of appointing Jim Sloan to a position?
This is Harry, Sue. I assume we're having a vote?
Yes. Unless there is no objection, then we will not need to vote.
Well, I'm going to raise an objection. It's nothing against Jim. It's nothing against Tim. My objection is the aspect is that the policy says that we should be going to the public. I feel that we should be going to our members, and they should have as much opportunity as one individual selecting who the next two people will be. And that's why I object.
Anyone else?
I'm let me make sure. I'm going to agree with Harry only because precedence in the past has shown that Tim and yourself have both gone through the interview process and the community has been allowed to submit. And there's been, Jim Young has done it as well. And I believe where we stand now with the community, and again, I will echo Harry, I have nothing against Jim Sloan, and I look forward to serving with Jim Sloan. And it's just, I feel like we are doing a grave disservice to the community by not allowing them to submit their resumes for this position.
Okay, anyone else?
This is Sharon Heddick. Jim Sloan's a good friend of mine. I really appreciate the work that he does. As I don't know Tim Hurley that well. I have nothing against either one of them. I think they would both be fine as far as board members go. But we had the opportunity clear back in June when May when he actually left to fill that position. And you kind of drug your feet as far as putting anything out. So now all of a sudden it's a rush to hurry up and get it done. And that's what it looks like to the community. So I again, don't feel that we've given the community an opportunity to be able to apply for this.
Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, we have 3 in opposition to, I'm assuming that you're saying you're in opposition. Should we take a full vote, Karen? Yeah, okay, let's vote. Okay, Anne, where do you stand? A yes would be to appoint the person, a no would be not to appoint them. For Jim Sloan.
In the essence of time and allowing the board to move forward, I believe I'm going to vote a yes at this point. Thank you.
Harry? Harry?
No.
Okay, Donna?
Yes.
Sharon? No. Roberta?
Yes.
Lisa?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
Okay. We have a tie, and as president, I will break the tie and vote for it. Yes. So that brings it to 4.4 to 3. And Jim Sloan is appointed to fill the position. Welcome back to the board, Jim. He's now a board member and will be allowed to vote in the next appointment. Okay, I'm recommending Tim Hurley to serve until June 30th, 2022 to the director vacancy created by the recall of Lou Mancuso. Tim, tell us about yourself.
Okay, hopefully I'm off mute.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm an 8-year resident here at Sun City West. I did serve on the board for 4 years. I was appointed for 1 year and then ran again with Jim Sloan and served out that 3-year term. A little bit about me. I came out of the corporate world. I was a corporate account manager that handled large accounts for oil companies and chemical companies. Did that until I retired. And I'm an avid golfer, golf 4 times a week. And I have been associated with the golf committee for 5 years. I was on it 1 year before I was appointed. And to me, protecting the golf as an asset in Sun City West, because it is the second largest source of operating revenue, is an important part of the community. And again, I appreciate very much being asked to serve on the board. And I will do it with no personal agenda. And I think I've already proven in the past that I can work with a wide variety of diverse opinions. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Okay, do we have any discussion or objections to this appointment?
This is Harry. I object for the same reasons. I respect Tim, but I don't like the process.
Anyone else?
This is Lisa. And I'm going to object for the same reasons. However, Tim, I'm going to say that I look forward to serving with you as well. And one, because I spend a lot of hours researching past minutes from when you served on the board. And I do believe that you come to your conclusions and vote your conscience the way you see fit. And I respect you for that. But because I disagree with the process, again, I believe we're doing a grave disservice to the community by not allowing them to have a chance to throw their hat in the ring. But again, that decision has been made, so I'll just leave it at that, with my answer being no.
Anyone else?
Sharon, I have the same, agree with both Lisa and Harry's comments. I've checked on both of the people. I have no problem working with either one of them. I just don't like your process at all.
Any other comments?
So I'm a no.
Okay, let's weigh in on this. Anne?
As a yes to appoint Tim to the, I got cut off and I had to get back into the meeting. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what we're doing is taking a vote on recommending Tim Hurley to serve in the director position vacated by the recall of Lou Mancuso. And so
Okay.
you're saying yes?
Yes to appoint Tim.
Okay, all right. Harry says no.
No.
Donna?
Yes.
Sharon, you said no?
Yes. I said
Roberta?
no.
Okay. Yes. Okay, Roberta says yes. Lisa says no. Jim Sloan?
Yes.
Okay. So that's 4-3, and Tim is now appointed to fulfill the position. Welcome back to Tim. Okay. We have one question from the audience. I guess I should go director comments. Are there any other director comments that you want to make on this topic before we go to the guest comments? Okay. The one question is, why are we not using L9? And I think that I have explained that, but I will just say again, the timing of the situation would have allowed us to have to post the position. And we had originally talked about doing some interviews at the end of October, which allows us a 2-month period when we would not have 9 directors. I felt that we could live with that situation when we only have 1 spot to fill, but I'm quite uncomfortable going down to 7. And that's why I made the decision to use the appointment process instead of going to the interviews. And also the interviews allow community members to, consider being one of the board directors, but it doesn't allow the community to vote on the person that the board might select. So it's limited. I think that the much better option is for the community to be able to choose the people during the election process, which starts in the beginning of November. So that was my rationale for that. And also the fact that bylaws trumps the policies that we have available. That's the other legal ramification of that. Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
I have just one comment, Sue. This is Harry. Is back at our meeting in May when you were doing training with Lou, Lisa, and me, you made the statement then that you were going to appoint Jim Sloan. And
Yes, I asked for your
And
support.
that was over, that's three months ago. So to say that it's all of a sudden an urgency now, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well, it's related to the fact that we now have 2 open positions. Previously,
At
only-
that time we weren't even on the board yet.
That's right. We trained before you were on the board.
That's right.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, then I will
This is
adjourn.
Donna.
Donna, go ahead.
This is Donna. I just want to say I'm looking forward to working with Jim Sloman and Tim Hurley. Welcome back, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It'll be a good board. Okay, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.